I'm Sophie Cook. I'm the club photographer for AFC Bournemouth, who are a Premier League football club now. At the end of last season, we got promoted to the Premier League. I'm a lifelong Bournemouth fan. We were always third or fourth division. We were always on the verge of going out of business, going out of the Football League, and there we were. We were on the verge of getting promoted to the Premier League. And I'm stood on the pitch at Charlton Athletics Ground in the Valley as we're crowned Football League champions. And I'm being sprayed with champagne by players. I'm right at the centre of the celebrations. And it's the greatest day in the history of my club. And yet I was terrified. I was terrified that I would never ever work in football again. I was terrified that that was my last ever football match. Because I knew that during the summer, I was going to tell them that I was transgender. The thing is, I've known I was transgender since I was 7. And because of that, I spent a whole lifetime suffering with self-harming, suicidal feelings. And this fear just started to control me. It controlled everything that happened in my life. Every time I thought something good was happening, I would sabotage it and just make sure that I was actually in pain. I needed to be in pain all the time. I had an amazing family, beautiful wife, 3 great kids, a granddaughter. And I was terrified. I was terrified that I would never work in football again. I was terrified that I would lose my children. I was terrified that my whole life would just be destroyed. But it came to a head last January when I had a choice. I either changed something or I ended something. And I chose to change. Now, I told the football club during the summer. I moved to Brighton in June, and I was sort of leading a bit of a double life at the time. I was Sophie in Brighton, and then Steve when I went back to Bournemouth, taking my wig off. I mean, they noticed I'd lost loads of weight, and I was suddenly looking happy, but sort of no one twigged why. And then I had hair extensions done, and it's like, oh my God, I can't just take this off and go back and pretend anymore. So I had to tell the club. And it was great. I went in for a meeting with the chairman of the football club and the manager and the commercial director and head of media. Sat there in the owner's box, overlooking the pitch. All the bigwigs at the club, and me in my pencil skirt and heels, looking absolutely fabulous. But it was the first time they'd ever met Sophie. And the thing is, they had no idea what to expect. They had no experience of a trans woman. And their experience and their thoughts were probably based on the sort of rubbish that you see in the media. So I went and met them, and it was great. I still had a job, which was a bonus. And Eddie Howe, our manager, future England manager, you heard it here first. I shouldn't say that in Scotland, really, should I? He said, is there anything I can do to help? And I said, I really need to meet the players before a match day, because we need to get any perceived weirdness out of the way so they can see that I'm still me, just a happier version of it, obviously not fabulous. So I went in for a training session, and all the boys are off warming up over the other side of the training pitch. And he comes up to me and Eddie says to me, so you're scared? And I went, you know what? I'm so at ease with who I am, so confident in who I am, that no, I'm not. So they called all the players together, and we'd already decided banter was the way to do it, keep the relationship on the same sort of footing it was before, and also to let them know they didn't have to walk in eggshells around me. So they called all the boys together, and our assistant manager said, so boys, you might have noticed our photographer's changed a bit since last season. Growing her hair out, I said, yeah, I've lost a bit of weight. I'd like you to meet Sophie. And then our captain started clapping, and all the rest of the players joined in. And then the captain just turned around and said, right, let's go and train. And I'd built this up so much in my head. It's like I'd been robbed of my moment. How was that it? And it's like, but it was just, right, here's the information, now let's just move on. And a few of the new players came up, Sylvain Distin came to me and went, hello, I'm Sylvain. I went, hello, I'm Sophie. But it was great, and I spoke to a load of the players after the training session and told them my story. I told them about the self-harming, I told them about the suicide attempts. Because it was really important to me that they knew this wasn't a whim, this was saving my life. So of course I was terrified. I spent my whole life living in fear. Fear that I wouldn't work in football. And what's happened since I've come out has been amazing. I'm here today, I've spoken at Wembley Stadium, I've spoken at Anfield, I'm speaking at the Emirates in a few weeks' time. So far from my life in football being over, it's been enriched. And the thing is, the thing that I was really scared of, the most important thing in my life, my family, my kids, has also been enriched. Because all of those years I spent as a shell of a person who was terrified and like a zombie. There was just no emotion in me at all. My relationship with my kids is better than ever now. My 15-year-old son who's disabled, the first time he ever met Sophie went, "You look weird." It's like, thanks mate, we made the girl feel special. And then there was another time where we were out in the back garden, he's leaning over the fence with the neighbours going, "Daddy's a lady." So I knew he wasn't outing me. But, and my 12-year-old daughter, who's like the most important thing in the world to me, now just every time I go back to visit, just, right, what's in your makeup bag? It's like exactly the same as there last time I came. It's like, I'm not 12. I haven't got 200 drawers of makeup like you have. But I was terrified of losing them. And my daughter summed it up for me when she commented on one of my Facebook posts, and she said, "You're my hero. Steve was great, but Sophie's better. Thank you very much. You should all be proud of who you are and live your life, because there's happiness and joy on the other side." So, yeah, thank you.